So for the first scramble, I see the cross pieces here, 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 and here. So first what I would do is bring the red down, and before I solve it with its correct center, I would move this orange into its correct position, and then solve the red. Then the green's already paired up, so I can do that. And here I have the orange ready to go down, but I would pair up the blue and then move the orange, then the blue. First pair I see is green and red, and I also see here that these two are already together, so I can go straight into that after I insert that pair. Now I see these two, and I also see these two. So I would solve that one in the back first, and this one's also another 3-move insert. OLL and ARP G'. So for the next scramble, I see cross pieces here, 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 and here. So first what I'll do is, I see that blue and red are already paired relative to each other. So I'll move this green up so that it doesn't get broken. I'll insert blue down here and red here. And in the process, I've paired orange with its correct center. So I can solve these two with a D, F, and then L2. And the first pair I see is these two, so I'll solve those. Next pair I see is these two. And then now I can solve these two. And I also saw that these two were exposed. And finally, I can just solve that. OLL and A'. Okay, so for the next scramble, I see cross pieces here, 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 and here. So I know that blue and orange are not in the correct position relative to each other, but I know that I can bring this red edge down to here, and it will be in the correct position. So I'll do that with an F2, and before I just solve these two with a D, I'll bring this green edge up to match with its center, then do a D, and then U', F, R2. And the first pair I see is the blue and orange, so I'll solve that in the back. Next I'll do the green and orange, and then these two, blue, red, and finally these two. OLL and G'. Okay, so for this scramble, we have cross edges here, 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 and here. So, first what I'll do is solve green and orange. So, orange, pair it up, put it in, and then green will also be paired here. But before I just put this in, I'll actually pair red up with its center and solve that, and then F2 to solve green. And now blue needs to go back there, so I can just do that with D'. And the first pair I see is these two, so I'll solve those. And then I can go into these two. Next I can do this one and its edge in the back. And finally, these two. OLL and E'. Okay, so for the next scramble, we have edge pieces here, 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 and here. So orange is already solved, so we can solve green and blue opposite of their centers. So make blue opposite, solve green, and then D2. Now what I can do is bring this orange down and solve this red, just like that. The first pair I see is these two, and then I can go into these two, and finally these two. OLL and F'. Okay, so for the scramble we have cross pieces here, 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 and here. And I also see that there's already a pair made here. And typically I'm not really good with preserving pairs, but this one is pretty straightforward. So what I'll do is I'll solve green and red like that, and that pushes this pair up. And I know I can just bring this down and then solve it, but that would cause this pair to break up. So in the process of bringing it down, I would bring it out and then finally bring this down, do a D prime to solve those, and then join orange again and solve that. So I've preserved this pair, I can go straight into that, and then next these two, and then these two are a 3-move insert, and finally these two. OLO and A prime. Okay, so for this scramble, we have cross edges here, 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 and here. And this cross is kind of hard to follow. I mean, not really, but I'll try my best to explain. So first I would bring this red down to here to solve it, and then I would bring the blue down here to solve it. So now we have 3 edges solved with their correct centers, and the orange one ends up down here, which is just a D2 away from being solved. And now I can solve all 3 of them like that. And I see I already have a pair here, so I'll insert that in the back. Meanwhile, I saw that these 2 were in the front, so I'd solve those. Then I see these 2 in the bottom slot. And finally, these 2. OLO and A prime. So for the scramble, I have cross edges here, 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 and here. So what I'll do is solve everything with its opposite center, then do a D2. So orange is already opposite with red, blue is opposite with green, so I can just move that down. And now I can solve red over here and green over here so that they're opposite. So first what I'll do is F, and then U to bring that out of the way, R prime, F2, and now everything is opposite, and I can do a D2 to solve. First pair I'll do is this one right here. Next pair I'll do is this edge in this corner, insert that into the back. Now I can do these 2. And finally, this edge I can bring here and then solve from the back. OLL and Y prime. Okay, solve number 9. Not going to be doing too efficient of a cross, but it'll work. So, cross edges here, 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 and here. I see that this one's already solved, and this one is just one spot away from being solved. So I can bring this up, solve that one, and then before I bring this down, I can push this one in and solve it at the same time. And then the last one goes in the back, so I can just push it to the back like that. And the first pair I would do is these 2, solve it from the back, and then next I would do the green and orange right here. And then I saw that this edge and this corner is down here, so I can bring that up and then insert it like that. And then lastly, these 2. OLO and end. Okay, solve number 10. Cross pieces here, 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 and here. So what I can do is I can solve green and orange relative by doing that, and then positioning them correctly. And now I can bring blue up like that and solve that. And then lastly, red here. And while I was solving the cross, I saw that these two were made, so I'll solve those in the right side. And then next, I see these two. And then this blue and orange came out, so I'll do that. And then lastly, this one, using just an algorithm. OLL, oh god, and then G frame.